Our biggest problems is that we think way too small and we don't consider our feelings and our thoughts as being paramount to all of our success. We think we get the next business strategy, we hire the right person, that's going to change everything for us, but it's not, right? We've seen this thousands of times. You've probably experienced it so many times in your own life where you've tried to, fix the business, you've tried to do something different, but still nothing changes. Why? It's because of your frequency. So what I mean by this is if you have a frequency where you feel like it's always going to be something external that you need to fix, and that's going to be the fix of everything, right? That's going to be the thing that brings you all the success, then like nothing's going to change in your life. Like genuinely, the only way that we can actually get like lasting change is if we understand that like working on our frequency at the level of like, how can we create a great state for ourselves? So when I say a state, I mean, how can we change the way that we feel emotionally? How can we change the thoughts that we have? And once we do that, everything else externally changes. I know that making a lot of money is so important, but I don't feel like making a lot of money just for the sake of making a lot of money is important. I feel like making a lot of money to become the person capable of doing that is everything. So for me, like, look, I live in a beautiful place right now, right? Externally, you could be like, oh, that's great. Money brought you that. Having a great business got you that. Sure, but that's not actually the thing that is valuable. And if you feel like that is the only thing that is valuable when it comes to making a lot of money, then money is going to feel shit once you have it. Like once you have millions in the bank, it's not going to feel good because you just feel, what can it get me externally? But if you've made that money literally as the whole aim of becoming the person capable of doing it, and that's your whole aim, right? Of course, we want to make like lots of money so we can enjoy our lives, right? We want more freedom. I love luxury things. I love living in amazing places. Becoming the version of yourself that is capable of making that money is what this whole life is all about. Like the human experience, we're here to like constantly grow. That's, I believe, the whole reason that we're on this earth is to just keep being the best version of ourselves. And for a lot of us, the best version of ourselves can only come out once we make a lot of money and once we go on this pursuit of making a lot of money. And when you just focus on the feelings, these emotions that are holding you back from making a lot of money, because that is literally all it is. You could say there's so many reasons we don't make lots of money, but no, like if you have a desire to make like millions a month and you're not making millions a month, it's because you're allowing your emotions and your feelings to dictate your growth. Because if you want to do it, if you want that amount of money, why have you not got it yet? Like why have you been stuck at the same revenue level for the last year or 2 years? Like that's what a lot of my clients are typically stuck at, or even 6 months. Like how can you be stuck at that level and think that it's just something else externally that you need to fix? Or how can you think that, changing your feelings, your thoughts, like your internals, aren't going to get you the results that you want? I'm sure if you're watching this video, you believe that it's going to, right? You wouldn't like be interested in anything that I have to say if you didn't believe that. But like, we just got to realize that this stuff impacts so much more than we actually know. When we realize that, and when we actually start to take actions, like for me, every single day I have a morning ritual. So I wake up, I spend some time with my girlfriend, I cuddle my puppy, and then I go straight into a morning practice where I do a self-hypnosis, meditation kind of thing. This sets me up every single day to realize that I can control my feelings and my thoughts without any sort of, question. Like any thought that comes up that doesn't serve me, I know that I can change it, and I change it straight away. Because for me to be at this level, for me to grow, like I've had, a pretty solid month. Like even the last few weeks, I think I did over 40K cash collected in my business. And that literally just came because this was like quite a big jump from the months prior. And I realized a lot of this just comes from focusing on the feelings and emotions that are trying to keep you comfortable right now. So like, what is it that's stopping you from hiring that perfect person that's going to be able to take over, that's going to be able to take over the client delivery, or it's going to be able to help you with certain things in the business, What is stopping you? It's probably a feeling of like, everything needs to be perfect before I hire this person, or, no one's going to do a job as good as me. That all comes from an emotion. Like you might think that it comes from a thought, but the emotion the feeling, that is the first thing. And then from that feeling, you then have the thought of, oh no, it needs to be perfect. And then from that thought, you then create an action that is, not hiring this person for another 6 months, or, whatever that action is. Like I'm hiring so many people right now, and that's just because I have 0 blocks. Like I know if I get the right person in, which I can easily find, I know that my business is going to go, like, just continue to scale as fast as it is already. Like I'm hiring a personal assistant right now, someone that's going to be with me full time and help me with everything. This is an actual in-person PA. I'm hiring another virtual assistant as well that's going to be online, that's helping me with other things. I'm going to also eventually help me with like a client success manager soon. I'm going to hire someone like that pretty shortly. Like all of this, I have literally 0 blocks, and I'm not perfect, by the way. Blocks do come up, but I don't allow a block to stay there for more than a day, because I have my morning self-hypnosis, and I also get hypnotized. Like I get hypnotized by my mentor, my hypnosis mentor. He's a great hypnotist. And we just clear things like that, because I can't afford to have any blocks. Like for me to become the version that I want to be today, like look, see, I don't know if I'm going to be pointing at it properly. Let me take this off. But if you have a look here, there's a yacht that I'm going to show you. And it costs about, I looked it up on ChatGPT, and it costs about, this big one just here, it costs about 300 to 400 million to build that yacht, okay? Apparently it's owned by some Russian billionaire or something. Now, for me to do that, I realized that there's got to be an ever-evolving Janardhan. Like, there's got to be a version that is capable of doing that. The only way I'm going to get there is by continually becoming a different person. Because right now I'm not a version that can create a yacht like that. Like obviously I want a yacht. I don't know if I would want a yacht that big or that would cost that much money to build, but I'm going to get a private jet. Like without a doubt, I'm going to have my own private jet that I fly around on, right? Because I want my time back. I love just luxury things. I hate flying commercial. And for me to do that, I know I need to be a completely different person. And I know I'm not going to get there by just allowing these thoughts and these feelings to dictate the external results that I have. And I know it's so simple, right? To change these feelings and these thoughts. That's literally all you have to do. Change the feeling. Whenever a feeling of, anxiety, a feeling of lack of worthiness, a feeling of, everything needs to be perfect. Whenever that feeling comes up, I notice it. I'm aware of it. And I see it for what it is. I don't see it as reality. I see it as just a figment of my imagination or just something that my body is feeling in that moment. I don't then interpret it as, oh my God, this means that if I hire someone, it's going to be a terrible idea. I'm going to waste money, or, they're not going to do a job as good as me. Everything's going to burn down. Like nothing like that. Because when we interpret feelings and emotions like that, that's when these feelings and emotions run the show. The reason that this is so important, changing your feelings and emotions first, is because, and even thoughts, is because if you don't change these things, you're constantly going to be living from your past experiences. So for instance, like you may have been, stuck at a similar revenue level for the last 6 to 12 months, whatever, right? This happens with a lot of my clients. You're in that pattern where you keep experiencing the same thing, and it may have been happening for years, maybe not the same revenue. I'm sure you've grown, right? You already make a lot of money, or not a lot, but like you make a decent amount, right? For you to get there, you've had to grow, right? You've had to change parts of yourself. But if you're still at that same level and you've been there for a while, it's because there's a part of you, a certain emotion, a certain feeling that you're not actually working on, that you're not trying your damn best to solve, to actually become aware of, to actually outgrow. The reason this is so important to change this is because if we don't, we're going to be stuck in the same past experience forever. We're in this same loop. Because whenever we're feeling and we're giving into the emotions and we're having the same thoughts that, take us out of this present moment, that take us from growing, it just means that we keep allowing the same thing to play out. Because that emotion that you feel, maybe it's a feeling of anxiety, maybe it's a feeling of, everything needs to be perfect and no one is as good as me, or, it's hard to scale, or whatever it is. That feeling, that emotion, this is just an old emotion. This is an old feeling that you've experienced for a very long time. You can even map it probably back to your childhood, that you felt a similar way. Could have been a way that your parents made you feel. It could have been a way that, certain friends made you feel, or certain things that you had to do made you feel, right? You can map it all the way back. And to some extent, if you haven't fixed that, if you haven't actually observed that and done this work, you haven't rewired the subconscious parts of your brain, you haven't, done the hypnosis, you haven't done the practices, you just keep living out the same pattern. You may have made a lot more money, but you still are living in the same pattern. So whenever we live by those same emotions and those same feelings, we're going to keep getting the same experiences. But if you change if you observe them, you change them, you're then opened up to infinite new possibilities. That's why you see some people that just literally quantum leap their income. Like some of my clients, I literally have, I can list off like so many clients right now. Morgan, she's from New York. She literally went from like struggling, just, she was already making decent money from her business. She ran a coaching business, but like she did a complete 180. Like 30 days later, after our first hypnosis, we got on a call and she was like, I just launched a new membership. She got 20 new clients in there that covered like literally all of her expenses. She then also got another like major high ticket client. But the beauty of this isn't just like the money she made, but she has power over her feelings and emotions now. She used to get like quite anxious. She used to like really give in to her procrastination. She delayed like launching this new membership for so long, and she knew it was something she should do, but she just didn't do it. Now she has zero procrastination. She literally launched the membership in like this time, right after our first hypnosis. She'd been delaying this for so long. She got that high ticket client. She says she has zero procrastination. She has such a great work ethic now. She got rid of all those other, feelings that she had that weren't serving her. Another client, Johan, he's making about 60K a month in his agency when we first started working together. He had a really big challenge hiring new people because he has an AI video agency. Very big challenge hiring people because he thought no one could do a job as good as him. And after our first hypnosis, he just told me that he hired his first person literally, I think it was 4 or 5 days later. He already had team members, but someone else that he needed to hire. Like I think he's up to maybe his 4th team member. I'm not sure exactly, but around that. So like that's just one client. I can list off, that's 2 clients. I can list off so many more clients. That have had just amazing transformations that have come from us doing our hypnosis, rewiring the subconscious parts of their brain, and just like allowing themselves to feel the feelings, but not actually believe that these feelings are true. And that's what hypnosis can do. That's what these practices can do, because they allow you to disassociate from that and instead create a completely new reality, because we are all creators of our own reality. Whether we're a creator in a negative way or whether we're a creator in a positive way, we are all creators. And whether it's positive or whether it's negative is just determined by how much control you have over these feelings and emotions, and whether you actually choose to create your destiny in the way that you want to create it. That's it. There's a lot in this video. I hope that this has helped, and I'll see you in another one. Peace.